Theoretically speaking, I have no right to be standing here talking to you. Theoretically, I should be up in the mountains of southwest Virginia with some of my relatives who are still there, carrying on mountain feuds, killing rattlesnakes, and drinking corn liquor. That's where I was born. Theoretically, that is. But fortunately, some 55 years ago, the hand of destiny reached up into that wild country, lifted me out, and started me on a career the like of which never has been performed in this or any other generation. In 1908, my brother Vivian and I matriculated at Georgetown University Law School, intending to become lawyers. We didn't have any money, but I had the experience as a newspaperman, and I agreed to pay the way of the two of us through school by writing stories about successful men. Fortunately, my first assignment was to interview the great Andrew Carnegie, founder of the United States Steel Corporation. Mr. Carnegie at that time was the richest man in the world and was known throughout the world as the best picker of men. Mr. Carnegie gave me 3 hours. And when the 3 hours were up, he said, "Well, young man, this interview is just starting. Come on over to the house with me and stay all night, and we can take it up after dinner." I was so glad he said, "Come on over to the house." If he had said, "Go down to the hotel and come back tomorrow morning," I would have been sunk, because I had just about enough money in my pocket to pay my way back to Washington. Well, after dinner, we went into the library, and he started then to tell me what the world needed most. He said the world needs a new philosophy based upon the know-how of men like myself, who have learned the rules of success the hard way by the trial and error method. He said the creator or organizer of such a philosophy will not only build a monument to himself through our time, but he will change the lives of millions of people. Well, I listened to Mr. Carnegie's analysis of this marvelous idea of his for 3 days and nights. And I wondered why in the world that great man was spending so much time with me, talking to me about something of which I knew little or nothing. But at the end of the 3rd day, I got an idea of what it was all about. He said, "Now, I've been talking to you for approximately 3 days about this new philosophy. I've told you all that I know about it. I've told you of its possibilities, of its potentials at every level. And now I wish to ask you a question, and I want you to answer that question with a simple yes or no, but don't answer until you make up your mind which it is. If I commission you to become the author of this success philosophy, give you letters of introduction that will open doors to you will have to have open, are you willing to devote 20 years to research, because that's about how long it will take, earning your own way as you go along without any subsidy from me, yes or no?" What would you have said if you had been sitting there in front of that great man, just enough money in your pocket to pay your way back home, who had asked you to go to work for him for 20 years without compensation? Well, what you have in mind, I suspect, is what I had in mind at that time. I could think of all of the reasons in the world why I couldn't possibly accept that opportunity. Isn't it strange that when you put a new idea before almost anyone, the first thing his mind does is to jump to the no-can-do part, the negative part, and you think of all of the reasons why he can't possibly accept it. And people who are in the field of selling are certainly acquainted with that habit of mankind. Well, I tried to open my mouth to tell Mr. Carnegie why I couldn't do it. I had in mind at least 5 or 6 good reasons, but something inside of me stayed my tongue. And then all of a sudden, something inside of me said, "Tell him you'll do it." I said, "Mr. Carnegie, I not only will accept the commission you have offered me, sir, but you may depend upon it that I will complete it." And he grabbed me by the hand and he said, "I not only like what you said, but I like the way you said it, and you've got the job." And I thought to myself, my goodness, what do I have? Well, I had to go back down to Washington and break the news to my brother and tell him that I was dropping out of law school and he would have to pay his own way. But having heard that when you want to sell a man an idea, it's best to feed him first, I took him over to the New Willard Hotel, the best hotel in Washington at that time, and bought him a nice dinner. And as we sat down to eat, he said, "Napoleon, I don't know what you're up to, but I know it's something. You've done something wrong, or you wouldn't be buying me a dinner like this." I started in. I gave him the whole story much more in detail than I'm giving it to you here. And when I had finished, Vivian got up, wadded up his napkin and threw it on the table and came around and put his hand on my shoulder. And he said, "Napoleon, ever since you and I were little barefooted boys wading down in Gist River in Wise County, I've had my doubts about you. But brother, from here on out, I'll never again have any doubts because I now know you're as crazy as heck, let us say, but that wasn't the word he used. Going to work for the richest man in the world for 20 years without compensation, pray tell me what are you going to use for money?" "Oh, no, don't tell me, I know. Oyster shells." And by that time, I'd gotten away from the magnetic influence of the great Carnegie, and my stock was going down and down and down, and I'd already recognized the truth of much that my brother was saying. Well, I went to work. My first interview was with President Theodore Roosevelt in his last year in office. Mr. Andrew Carnegie personally called the president, asked him to see me. And when I arrived at the White House, I was received as if I were a member of the cabinet. That was the story all down the line. Wherever I went to see a man to whom I had been introduced by Mr. Carnegie, I was well received. In my whole 20 years of experience, during which I had the collaboration of some 500 of the most outstanding men in America, only one man turned me down. And that man was the son of Abraham Lincoln, R.T. Lincoln, who was at that time chairman of the board of the Pullman Company in Chicago. I wrote him a letter, just as I had the others, telling him that I had been commissioned by Andrew Carnegie to give the world its first practical philosophy of individual achievement, and I asked for an interview. He called me on the telephone, and he said, "Mr. Hill, I am an old man. I have never done anything in life to justify my assuming that I could contribute anything to a success philosophy. And if you don't mind, Mr. Hill, I would like to be excused." So what would you say in a case of that kind? I had no rebuttals, of course, but that was the only time I was ever turned down. Well, after the 20 years were up and I had completed the philosophy, reduced it to manuscript, I began to look for publishers. And I want to tell you, my friends, that the pioneer at any level of life has a most difficult time. I went from one publisher to another, and most of them wouldn't even give me an interview. And finally, at Doubleday Durand in New York, they condescended to send a young man out to interview me. He sat down with his arms crossed like this while I was going over my story, obviously bored. And when I had finished, my manuscript lying on the desk in front of him, he said, "Mr. Hill, have you ever heard of Socrates?" I said, "Yes, I have." "Of Plato?" "Yes, I'm very familiar with Plato's work." "With Shakespeare?" "Yes, I am familiar with all of his works, too." "With William James?" "Yes, I'm very familiar with his works." "With Ralph Waldo Emerson?" "Yes, I think I could almost repeat his works by heart." "Well, Mr. Hill, will you please tell me why, if none of those great minds ever produced a success philosophy, who the heck do you think you are to do it?" Well, I got up and picked my manuscript up and walked away. Not so many years later, I had lunch at the Waldorf Astoria with this man, and he said, "Mr. Hill, as near as I can figure it out, every word that I used in turning you away cost Doubleday Durand $1 million. Because if I had taken on your work at that time, undoubtedly you would have stayed with our publishers and they would have published everything you produced since. And that was a gross understatement of the truth. A little bit later, I was fortunate enough to meet Don Millett, who was at that time publisher of the Canton, Ohio Daily News. After visiting with Mr. Millett for 2 or 3 days, he decided to become my first manager. And his first transaction was to call Judge Albert H. Gary, chairman of the board of the United States Steel Corporation, on the telephone, and made an appointment to see him. He went up to New York and saw Judge Gary and sold him on the idea of publishing my entire work and of presenting copies of it to all of the employees of that great corporation. It was a transaction that would have put me over with a bang, and of course I was elated. Mr. Millett came back down to Canton. We made arrangements to go to New York on the following Monday morning, and on the Friday evening prior to the time we were to leave, Mr. Millett was shot down at his garage by a member of the Canton Police Force and 3 thugs who were engaged in the narcotics and liquor business in Canton and who were being protected by the police. And I missed being assassinated by only a few hours. Fortunately, I had left town that day and didn't get back that night. But when I got back next morning, a gruff voice called me on the phone, and he said, "You have 1 hour to get out of town. You can go any way you choose within an hour, but after that you'll go in a pine box." I didn't wait the hour. I didn't wait 5 minutes. I got in my car and drove down into West Virginia just as fast as I could and hid out for almost a year. So if I knew they'd kill me, they thought that I was the one who was making the bullets and Mr. Millett was only shooting them in his paper. As a matter of fact, that wasn't the case at all. But the longer I hid out, the more afraid I became, and finally I got on to the point at which I thought perhaps my philosophy wouldn't work. And one night, I left the home where I was staying, walked up to the top of the hill to the schoolhouse and started walking around it. And I said to myself, there is a way out of this, and I'm going to find it before this night is over. There's a way out of this, and I'm going to find it. And all of a sudden, I was stopped in my tracks if somebody had been standing in front of me. And the thought came that this is your big testing time. You'll find out now whether you can make your philosophy work for yourself. And if you can't, burn those manuscripts and never be guilty of publishing them or offering them to anyone else. And then the message continued, tomorrow morning get in your car and drive to Philadelphia, and there you'll find a publisher. I went back to the house feeling much easier, but that command seemed to me to be a foolish thing because I knew nobody in Philadelphia. But the command was so direct, ladies and gentlemen, it was so impressive and so profound. Next morning, I made ready to go to Philadelphia. I didn't have any money. My money had run out at that time, but my brothers-in-law had money. And in this command, I was told to go to my brother-in-law and borrow $50. And when I asked for it, he said, well, how long are you going to be gone to Philadelphia? I said, well, the indefinite says you better take more than $50. That's much more to get you over there. I said, just $50. That's all I want. Late in the afternoon, I left West Virginia and drove through all night, arriving in Philadelphia early the next morning. My first impulse was to go into a telephone booth and pick up a telephone directory and look up a nice, cheap boarding house at about $1 an hour. Something said, drop that book. Go over to the Bellevue Stratford and register for the best suite they have. And then I knew I was going crazy. But I went over there and did just that. I said, well, if I'm going crazy, I might as well go all the way. I walked up to the desk, set my traveling bag down, called for a room, and the clerk said, what kind of a room do you want? I said, I didn't say room, did I? I mean a suite. I want the best suite you have. He looked over at me, my clothes, I guess, were a little bit wrinkled at that time, and looked over at my traveling bag, thought my You're running an awful risk. But anyhow, he assigned me to the best suite they had. The bellboy went up, placed my bag, and I tossed him $1. That is 75 cents more than ordinarily I would have given. And I said, now go downstairs and bring me some good cigars. He came back with some 2 for a quarter cigars. I said, good cigars. Go back and get me some good ones. He went back and I suppose tore the label off the box and came back with the same one here, some at 50 cents each. I started to reach in and get a couple of them, and something inside of me said, take a handful. And I took a whole handful. Then I sat down in a nice, overstuffed chair, lighted one of these cigars, and awaited further instructions. And they came very rapidly. And the message came, you have now reached the point where you're undergoing a testing time of the value of your philosophy. Call into your mind the names of all the men you know who would be in a position to finance the publishing of your philosophy, and when the right man comes into your mind, you'll know it, and you go to him and you'll have no trouble. I started in with Henry Ford. Well, I dismissed him in a hurry. I then called in Thomas A. Edison. Dismissed him. Then Luther Burbank, and then Dr. Alexander Graham Bell, the inventor of the telephone. And then Dr. Elmer R. Gates. I kept calling them into my mind all afternoon until I'd exhausted my entire acquaintanceship with men in the caliber that I was searching for. I had been traveling the night before. I'd had no sleep. I was exhausted, and I leaned over in my overstuffed chair and dozed for a moment, and all of a sudden I heard an explosion that sounded like the whole Bellevue Stratford Hotel was blown to pieces. And as I came out of my sleep, the name Albert Lewis Pilton came into my mind. I remembered Albert Lewis Pilton as having been an advertiser in my Golden Rule magazine. I knew nothing more about him, but I got him immediately on the telephone. He was in the publishing business. I said, Mr. Pilton, over 20 years ago, Andrew Carnegie conferred upon me the greatest honor ever conferred upon a single author, by allowing me to become the author of the world's first practical philosophy of individual achievement. I'm going to confer upon you an honor second only to the one conferred upon me by Andrew Carnegie, by allowing you to become the publisher of this philosophy. He said, just hold the phone and wait, I'll be right over. He was at that time married in Connecticut. The next morning he arrived down at my suite. I sat down at the table and took this enormous manuscript about the size of a family Bible. It had been nicely bound in leather and lettered in gold. It was a beautiful job. I said, here it is, Mr. Pilton. He sat down and started to turn through it, page after page. He read the title, the list of contents. And all of a sudden he closes up and says me to publish it at the regular publisher's contract fee. And by the way, he said, have you got a typewriter? We'll draw up the contract right now. I sat downstairs and got a contract. He sat down there and wrote it out, and when he'd been writing a little hard, he said, by the way, we usually make advances, a royalty on the contracts of this kind. How much advance would you want? I said, oh, that doesn't make any difference, Mr. Pilton, anything you say. Well, he said, how about $1,000? I said, well, that would be quite ample. Well, within a few minutes, Mr. Pilton was marching back to American with my manuscript, and I had his check for $1,000. I had no trouble whatsoever in paying for my expensive suite. The next thing I did, you see, success attracts success, and failure attracts failure. I was beginning to feel at that time that I could do almost anything. I called the general sales manager of the General Motors Company in Detroit, Michigan, and sold him on the idea of allowing me to train salesmen for General Motors, and in less than nothing flat, I had an income of $500 a week, and I was on my way. That was the beginning of my breaking of the spell, the worst spell of fear that I had ever undergone in my life. The Law of Success philosophy came out in 1928 in 8 volumes and became a bestseller all over the free world. It's in operation still today, but it's been condensed into 1 volume. In 1933, I got a telephone call one morning before I had arisen, and the telephone said, "This is Margaret Lee Hand at the White House. The President wants to see you right away." I got dressed and went down, and FDR had just entered his first term. He was in the midst of a bad panic. People were frightened, trying to draw money out of the bank, all that sort of thing. And he said, "I want you to help create for me a mastermind alliance that will help to break the spell of this panic." I went to work with the President and continued working for him for about 3 months, when one day he said, "Well, Napoleon, how much salary are you getting?" I said, "Mr. President, I'd like to know that myself." And he said, "I'd like to know also who's paying you." Well, we talked on for a few moments, and finally I said, "Well, Mr. President, you know, of course, that ever since I did my first work for you while you were Assistant Secretary of the Navy, and on up during the time you were Governor of New York, I never asked you for a penny. My labor for you is a labor of love, and let's still keep it that way. If you wish, put me on the payroll at $1 per year." His press secretary, who was sitting there, said, "Well, all right, Nap, with that, but that's all you're asking, that's all you're going to get." He said, "That's your philosophy, isn't it?" I said, "It certainly is." Well, to keep from absorbing all of that negative influence that was creeping into the White House, I took my typewriter down to the White House, and in between times, when I wasn't actually working for the President, I began writing books. I wrote 5 books that first year, including Think and Grow Rich. Then I laid the manuscripts all aside. I had no intention of publishing them. I was writing to myself, to keep myself positive. Some years later, I got the manuscripts out and read them, and the only one that was worth publishing, I thought, was Think and Grow Rich, but it had the wrong title. We called it The 13 Steps to Riches. I called my publisher, who had published Law of Success, and showed him the manuscript. And he said, "Well, Napoleon, your other books are not selling. What gives you reason to believe that this book may sell?" I said, "Mr. Felton, you'll have to read the manuscript for yourself, because the thing that will make it sell probably is behind the lines and not on them. It's something that I put into those lines when I was writing to myself at the White House." He took the manuscript away with him, and 3 days later he came back with it under his arm smiling, and I knew from the look on his face he had bought it. He said, "I had all of my force knocked off for 2 days, and we took time about reading the entire manuscript, paragraph by paragraph, line by line. And then we took a vote. And we came to the conclusion it was the finest manuscript that ever had come into our publishing house. And I'm going to publish and print 5,000 copies." I said, "Mr. Felton, you better print 100,000. He said, "Listen, Napoleon, if Jesus Christ came back the second time and had a book about his life and wanted me to publish, I wouldn't publish any more than 5,000. I said, "Well, that lets me out." Well, he printed 5,000 copies of them, and they were all sold the first week. And from that time right on up to this time, they've been printing them 10, 15, 20, and 50,000 at a time, not only in this country, but in other countries as well. But I must tell you what happened to that title. He said, "No, the title is not right. It's not a box office title. But meanwhile, I'm going to go ahead and have the book set in type. That'll take about 30 days. You get busy and create for me a multi-million-dollar title." I said, "Oh, that will be no trouble at all, Mr. Felton. That's right up my alley." I went to work, and my friends, I want you to know that I wrote over 1,000 titles, and there was not one of them worth a plug nickel. They just weren't any good. And finally, one afternoon, the publisher called me and said, "Have you got that title yet?" I said, "No, I haven't." Well, he said, "I'm certainly glad of that, because I have just the right title." I said, "Let's have it." He said, "I'm going to call it Use Your Noodle and Get the Boodle." And did I hit the ceiling? I want to tell you that I really... all of my emotions came into operation. I was mad, I was scared, I knew he had the legal right to do it, and I knew that that flippant title would ruin my book and maybe not do me any good either. Because all of my other works have been definitely on the dignified and on the serious side, never flippant. I said, "Mr. Felton, if you do that, I'll sue you." He said, "You can start in the Supreme Court, because there's where you'll land if you don't have a better title by 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. Now, goodbye." That was pretty fine. I sat down on the side of my bed, and long before that emergency, I'd had some miraculous experiences with my own subconscious mind. I started to talk to her. I said, now look here, old subby. You and I have been around together a long time. You've done some wonderful things for me. You lifted me out of poverty, out of illiteracy. You've given me a place in the sun. And I have now come to the point where I've got to have you here, but I've got to have it tonight. Tonight. You understand tonight? I don't mean tomorrow, I mean tonight. All of a sudden, my doorbell rang. I went to the door, and there stood two policemen. One of them with his hand on his gun. He said, where's the woman? What woman? What woman? Why, he said, their neighbors phoned in here beating your wife to death. I said, well, that's mighty funny. Come in and find my wife. Maybe her bones are in here somewhere. Surely you'll find them. Come in, gentlemen. They came in, looked all around. One looked under the bed, and one went into the bathroom. I said, gentlemen, sit down and I'll tell you the story. And then I repeated to them what I've just told you. And one of the policemen said, I've been on the New York police force for 20 years, and that is the most cockeyed alibi I ever heard a man give for beating his wife to death. Said, come on, Bill, let's get going out of here. Well, as soon as they left, I went to bed, and at exactly 5 minutes of 2 o'clock a.m., I was awakened as if somebody had shaken me. I could feel my teeth chattering. And as I came out of my sleep, Think and Grow Rich was in my mind, and I knew that was it. I grabbed the telephone and called the publisher in Meriden, Connecticut. And he said, what's the matter down there in New York? Calling me out of bed at 2 o'clock in the morning. The house on fire. I said, you bet it is. With that $1 million title that you own. He said, let's have it. I said, the title is Think and Grow Rich. He said, whoopee, boy, you really hit the nail on the head that time. And the goodness only knows that we did hit the nail on the head. But when FDR's secretary, press secretary, thought that I was knap-the-sap at $1 a year, I want to tell you that knap-the-sap didn't do so poorly with that $1 a year job, because over 5 million copies of the hardback edition of Think and Grow Rich alone have been sold, and the paperback edition is now just coming out in large printings. It's in the 6th large printing. The the hardback edition had grossed over $12 million 5 years ago. It's a bestseller in this and many other countries, and it will be a bestseller long after I shall have passed on, because it's not a marked and it's not a dated book. Shortly after the book came out, some friend of mine sent an autographed copy of it to Mahatma Gandhi in India. And he became so interested in it that he sent an emissary over here to the United States to look Napoleon Hill up. He wanted to find out whether I was a ghostwriter, the real McCoy, or the real thing, because he had an idea of giving wide distribution to that book throughout India. They put me on 24-hour-a-day surveillance through one of the leading detective agencies. And they sent in a report on me day and night for 30 days. And one evening I was over at the Stork Club in New York City with a young lady, a student of mine. And while these investigators couldn't get close enough to my table to hear what was going on, they employed a lip reader. And honestly, he didn't miss a single word. I was so glad afterwards I was saying the right thing. Gave a complete, perfect report of what was going on between myself and this young lady, student of mine. And when the report went back to Gandhi, he ordered the book published in India. It's been given wide distribution over there, and since that time, every book that I've ever written has been published and widely distributed in India. It went from there to Brazil, where it has been transferred into translated into the Portuguese language, where it serves Latin American countries. It's been translated into Spanish, and now negotiations for translating it into the German language for distribution throughout German-speaking countries. In 1942, the great R.G. Letourneau Company of Toccoa, Georgia, got into difficulty with the labor unions. And I want to give you an example of what this philosophy can do in the direst of distress and emergencies. It seems that one of the labor groups with a communistic leaning had sent two high-powered organizers down to Toccoa, Georgia to break the Laterno Company, that being the largest industrial company of its kind in the South. They intended to break him and then use him as an example when they went after the textile industry. Originally, they came down after Toccoa, Georgia with a $100,000 corruption fund. You know perhaps how they operate. Select a man in each department and pay him 3 times what the company is to stir up trouble and turn in reports of dissatisfaction. Because I had about 6 of Mr. Laterno's executives as my students, they were familiar with the potency of this philosophy, and they sent me to come up and take over, which I did. When I arrived there, these organizers had about 3 months head-winning jump on me. I moved in without any publicity, and the first thing that I did was to take all of the foremen, all superintendents, and all supervisors in the plant and in the office into a big class and turn them into teachers. I made teachers of them, and through them I took this philosophy to the 2,000 employees of the Laterno Company, indoctrinated them with this philosophy perfectly. Next 3 months, when the 6 months legal requirement were up, these men called an election under government regulations. And when the vote was over, out of the 2,000 employees, the union got only 200 votes. Well, they weren't quite satisfied. They hadn't spent all of their $100,000 up this time. They went for another 6 months. And the next time, when they voted, they got less than 100 votes, and some of the epithets written on the face of the votes I couldn't mention here or in print. And finally, these men blew up, left, and as they went, they said they thought the people down south were too darned ignorant to join a union, and they don't know to this day what it was that licked them or who it was. I never made any frontal attack on labor unions. Now and then one of the men would come into my office and say, well, Mr. Hill, look at this circular they're giving out off the gift. What do you think about this union idea? I said, now look here, fella. I came up here for only one purpose. Are you interested in having me tell you what it is? He said, well, yes. I came up here to show you and all the rest of those people out there in the plant and those in the office how to get more money from Mr. Laterno with his full consent and blessing. Now, is that what you want? Oh, yes. I said, well, now, let's not discuss labor unions. I'm not interested in labor unions. A frontal attack can be very disastrous. As a matter of fact, the frontal attacks being made on communism in this country, in my opinion, are almost, if not entirely, futile. I suspect that if you look the world over, you wouldn't find an individual anywhere in the world who is doing more to jerk the rug out from under communism and Napoleon Hill and the philosophy of personal achievement. It was one of the great miraculous experiences that it developed that this philosophy is almost a perfect antidote, not only for communism, but for all the other isms that are unfriendly to Americanism. I cite this case to show you that at whatever level you apply this philosophy, it has the answer. It has the answer for you as an individual. It has an answer for you as a group of employees. And it has the answer for the people of the United States in its effort to offset this cancerous thing that is swallowing the earth under the title of communism. When I was lecturing down in Long Beach, California, in 1946, we had enormous classes, 500 or 600 in the classes. Two of you who are here now were there in that class, in one of my classes. And in the afternoon, I was autographing my books over at the Walker department store. And one afternoon, I was sitting there at my table writing, about 100 people lined up out in front of me, when an elderly lady came all the way around the line, came up to my table and leaned over and said, "How rich are you?" It was only what she said, but it was the look on her face and the way in which she said it that irritated me the most. I laid my pen down and I started to tell her what I thought. And then I said to myself, no, one of the lessons on this philosophy is that of self-discipline. Let's see you use a little of it now. I said, my dear lady, these people are standing in line. Some of them will be here for 3/4 of an hour waiting for me to autograph the book. and I don't think it's fair for you and me to take up their time. But I'll give you this one idea, and you can deduce from that how rich I am. I have approximately 65 million of people scattered throughout this and other countries who have bought my books, who have profited by my courses, and who, if I sent out the word tomorrow, probably would be tickled to death to send me a nice new dollar bill each. She said, I didn't come here to be insulted. She turned and out she went. She thought I'd insult her. But, ladies and gentlemen, I was telling her the truth. My greatest asset consists of the people that I've helped all over the world. There's a bondage of love between them and me that's indescribable. It's the thing that has sustained me, and it is the thing that has given me the one thing which, if you wanted to end it, that would be it. My one wish to each and every one of you would be that when you reach the ripe age of 80, as I have done, you'll be as vigorous physically, mentally, spiritually, and that you will be as prosperous as I am. In 1952, Mr. W. Clement Stone made up his mind that he wanted me to put in 5 years of experience with his organization to demonstrate the soundness of this philosophy. Well, Mrs. Hill and I have been living out in California for 11 years. We went out there in 1944 for the purpose of carrying on a series of years of experimentations to find out how best to take this philosophy to the people of the world through the franchise school movement. When I got out there, I had no idea what my strength was. I went over to the Los Angeles Times and tried to buy some advertising space, and they said I could have about 2 inches on one column twice a week. And that was all. I said, well, I wouldn't have that as a gift, but I want the whole page. And the man threw my phone and said, I guess some of these department stores along here would be tickled to death, they could get a quarter of a page. Well, I thought I was not making any progress there, so I went over to the Warner Brothers radio station, KFWB, and I saw the program manager. I told him what I wanted to do. I wanted to put on a half-hour program every Sunday afternoon. He listened to me for a little while and said, Mr. Hill, I don't like to be impolite, but you're just wasting your time because the kind of a program you offer is just the kind of we don't want on KFWB. Why, Mr. Hill, there's no man on the face of the earth can hold an audience half an hour just talking. I said, well, my money says that's not true. Well, I said, by the way, are you the last word over here? He said, oh, no, you go to Jack Warner if you want to. It's the Warner Brothers. I said, let's get going. We went up there, and I was with Mr. Warner for the better part of an hour. 3 times he turned me down, and I kept on keeping on. I don't quit easily. I guess you find that out now that you're in business with me. I don't quit easily at all. Finally, Mr. Warner turned to his program chairman and he said, I'll tell you what you do. Mr. Hill is so determined that he can make good on a half-hour talk. Give him a half hour next Sunday. Let's see what happens. They put me on without any publicity build-up, nothing at all. And after the program, we received 876 replies, the largest number that has ever come in from any program. And then for the following 3 years, we carried on that program every Sunday afternoon, averaging at least 600 to 700 replies, more replies than came as a result of all the other programs combined. An astounding thing. It was so astounding that the Warner Brothers monitored the first 3 of my lectures, and they devoted a whole afternoon staff meeting to analyzing them to find out. Mr. Warner said, I want to find out how this Napoleon Hill can come out here and put on a 30-minute commercial, and that was what it was, what I was talking about, my philosophy, and lead all other programs. I don't think they ever did find out, but ladies and gentlemen, I did. I went down to the main library in Los Angeles and discovered they had 71 copies of the hardback Bacon Gorge working, and they'd been bound and rebound until I wouldn't have recognized them. And on every page, every margin of every page of every one of those books, somebody had written something. His comments after having read the book. I later made a survey of the leading libraries of the country, and I found that Bacon Gorge had led all books of all times in its field, and still doing it today. That was one reason why I went over so well in Los Angeles, because I had a tremendous following there, an invisible following that I didn't know, but when I got on the air, I found out who they were. And the other reason was, and I think maybe this is the most important one, I was talking to those listeners, talking to you, the listener, about your success. And when you're talking to another person about how he can become more successful, you don't have to be too brilliant, you don't have to be too bright. You just have to keep on talking. Because I have never yet met the person that didn't want more success, including myself. Well, after 11 years of experimentation out there, Mrs. Hill and I decided to move back to South Carolina. And by that time, Mr. Stone had tempted me to demonstrate with his organization what this philosophy could do with just one company. When I went with Mr. Stone in 1952, it was with the understanding I'd stay there for 5 years. He had 1,000 salesmen in the field at that time. They were selling health and accident insurance, a small price, low price policy. Mr. Stone told me confidentially in 1952 that his net worth was estimated at about $3 million. Well, we went to work teaching this philosophy to his organization, and by 1962, his net worth was around $100 million, and the men who had been earning around $125, $150 a week, some of them up to $1,000 a week, as a result of this philosophy. And if you'd like to check on that, you can find Mr. Stone's own statement in his latest book, entitled The Success System That Never Fails. He's gone out of his way to give credit to this philosophy. Well, when the 5 years were up, I was having such a fine time that I decided to stay on another 5 before beginning this last lap of my commitment to Mr. Andrew Carnegie, namely the organizing of franchise schools all over the world. Well, when Mr. Stone first got hold of Think and Grow Rich, shortly after it came out, he was selling insurance himself. I don't know how much he was making, but it couldn't have been too much. And he was so impressed with that Andrew Carnegie formula that he sat down and he wrote out his definite major aim for 20 years, following to the letter the instructions in the book. And his definite major aim called for him to own an insurance company within those 20 years, be president of it, and be worth a net of not less than $10 million. Quite an order for a man who only had $100 to start out with at that time. But when the 20 years were up, some 3 years ago, he was head of 4 large insurance companies, the Combined Insurance Company of America and 2 subsidiaries, and worth well over $100 million. That's an illustration of what can happen in just one industry. This very potent philosophy when it's properly administered. The reason I was willing to give up 10 years of my life, I wanted to see that it was done right. And if you ever saw a job well done, you'd see the one that was done in Chicago. A little while ago, thanks to my distinguished Vice President of the Napoleon Hill Foundation, Dr. Sidney N. Bremer, we made a marriage between the Napoleon Hill Foundation and Toastmasters International. Toastmasters International now has clubs in practically every country of the free world. It has 3,500 clubs. And as a result of this alliance that we've made with them, I'll guarantee that within 3 years at the outside, they'll have 7,500 clubs, and that the franchise school owners will have one of the most marvelous sources of training their people in public speaking that's in existence anywhere in the world today. That's one of the most important alliances I have made in my long and meteoric career in connection with this philosophy. There's a deep feeling of appreciation on both sides. They recognize, the International Toastmasters International Club recognize that they will practically have the Napoleon Hill organization all over the world as a recruiting agent without costing a penny. There's no commercial relationship on either side. We're cooperating without money, without profits. When the franchise school operators go into the field, they'll not only find the following that I have created during these past 50 years, but they'll have the following of that marvelous organization that's doing such a wonderful job throughout the world. I think the big surprise that came in connection with my experience with this philosophy came with my experience at the Laterna Company when I found out that this was a perfectly marvelous antidote for communism. When you can walk in and without ever mentioning your opposition, lick it hands down without the opposition knowing who licked it or what, you really have stumbled upon something. I feel exceedingly proud of this philosophy for many reasons. First of all, it's accepted by all religions, although it doesn't partake of any of them. Catholics and Protestants, whites and blacks, all the races, all the colors, all the creeds, accept this philosophy. I think that's a miracle within itself. When I first started out with Andrew Carnegie, he admonished me never, under any circumstances, to attach any title to this philosophy of an orthodox nature, because he said, the very minute you do that, you split your audience. He said, it doesn't need an orthodox title. And number two, when you start the writing, never use a word or an illustration that will send a high school boy or a girl to the dictionary or the encyclopedia. Because to do that, you lose them too, because most of them are too lazy. And I have followed those injunctions to the letter, with the result that we have a philosophy that's understandable, anybody can understand it, anybody can apply, and millions of people are applying it all over the world. I have set a minimum of 15 more years for me to work actively. I am going to devote as much time as I possibly can to helping my franchise school operators in the field, at least to get all centers to start doing the job the way I approved it can be done. My books are distributed pretty much throughout the free world. And here is a list of them. The Law of Success, which was my first publication, now reduced to one volume. But I would call that outmoded, because everything that is contained in that book is contained in the Science of Personal Achievement, greatly modified. And the book that has been most popular has been Think and Grow Rich, which is also in a paperback. Insurance companies all over the country are using this paperback edition as a good world builder. We have an autographed sticker for the salesman to sign, put that sticker in the front of the book, stating that he has had so much good out of the book that he wants all of his neighbors to have the privilege of reading it. He's lending it to them for 1 week, at the end of which time he'll come back and pick it up. And when he goes back to pick it up, he finds out he can talk insurance or anything else he wants to, because he's established a bond of confidence and friendship as a result of that book. I think the reason that book is done so much better than the others is that not only my brain went into it, but my heart and soul as well. Because when I was writing that book at the White House, we were in the midst of the worst financial crisis this country has ever known. And I wrote it more as a prayer than anything else. I wrote it to Napoleon Hill. I had no notes before me. I did no research work. I just put my fingers to work on my typewriter keys, and out came Think and Grow Rich. It took me less than 6 months to do it. Someone asked me not so many years ago how long it took me to write Think and Grow Rich. I said, well, it took me about 30 years to get ready to write it, and about 6 months to do it, to type it. And that's about as near correct as I could mention. But there's something behind the lines of that book. There's a feeling that you pick up as you read it you can't get out of any other book. And incidentally, after it came out, I commenced to get telegrams and letters and telephone calls and personal calls from all over the country congratulating me on account of this book. And after I had this had gone on for about a month, I said, well, by golly, I'm going to read that book, and maybe that fellow's got something that I don't know about. And I sat down to read my own book, and I just disassociated myself from it as if I had never seen it. And in about the middle of the book, an idea came to me that gave me the 17th principle of this lesson, Cosmic Habit Force, and I had been searching for that thing all down through the years and hadn't found it until I found it in my own book. It wasn't on the lines, it was a thought that came to me as I read those lines. And I want you to recognize that this is a thought-provoking book. It's an action-provoking book. It doesn't tell you particularly what to do. It tells you to use the knowledge you already have instead of letting it lie dormant. That's about all the majority of people need. It's not more education, the more knowledge they need. It's better use and application of the knowledge they already have. Then came how to sell your way through life. That was largely based upon the life of Henry Ford. And it had a wonderful sales record, but nothing to compare with Think and Grow Rich. And then came Mental Dynamite in 17 volumes. Later condensed into one volume called How to Raise Your Own Salary. Then The Master Key to Riches. It's going into paperback this coming fall. Then The Science of Personal Achievement, which is our current course being taught in all of our franchise-operated schools. And during my association with Mr. Stone, we wrote a book entitled Success Through a Positive Mental Attitude. That was jointly co-authored between Mr. Stone and myself. And that's had a wonderful sale. These books are now distributed throughout India as a result of the cooperation of the late Mahatma Gandhi, throughout Brazil in the Portuguese language, throughout Canada, Australia, New Zealand, Mexico, and other Latin American countries. And as I said a while ago, the negotiations are on now for publishing it as it's translated into the German language. With all this activity, you must know that I have a tremendous army, a following throughout the country. An army of people who will be delighted and will feel privileged to join personal classes where my picturized lectures will appear, where you as teachers will appear, and where they will have the opportunity to have the personal counsel all through the course from the staff of the Napoleon Hill Foundation without any extra cost. There has never in the history of the world been another service like this. Never another service like it. Never another service that has done so much in the way of research before offering it to the public. I want to repeat what I said a while ago, and I want to know what you think about it. My greatest wish for every one of my students, wherever he may be, whatever his religion may be, whatever his color may be, my greatest wish for each and every one of them is that he may have the privilege of living to the right young age of 80 as I have, and that at that age he may be as healthy, as alert, as prosperous as I am. Thank you so much. I have never known of a man being so successful and so important that he didn't appreciate a word of commendation or a nice round of applause such as you have just given me. I was once talking with Charles M. Schwab, the right-hand bower to Mr. Andrew Carnegie, congratulating him on having started as a day laborer with Carnegie and wound up as a $75,000 a year president of the United States Steel Corporation. And I was rubbing it on pretty thick, I guess, and he commenced to rub his hands and looked like he was getting nervous, and I thought, well, maybe I'm embarrassing him. I said, well, Mr. Schwab, I didn't mean to embarrass you by eulogizing you. I can assure you it comes from the heart. He said, Mr. Hill, just remember this, that no man ever becomes so successful or so important that he doesn't appreciate a word of commendation. I've learned down through the years that you can get more cooperation for people by doing something for them, by recognizing them, than you can with money alone. Ladies and gentlemen, I've given you these few brief sentences, the sum and the substance of what the science of success or science of personal achievement has done up to this time. But what I have given you is nothing compared to what it's going to do in the future. Because while I'm still alert, I'm young enough to be on the firing line. I'm going to see that this philosophy is translated into all the leading languages of the world, and that it is distributed throughout the major centers in every country in the world, every country of the free world. I don't think they'd let me in over in Russia or in China, and I don't think I'd want in over there either. And I'm happy to have every student, every teacher, every franchise school operator a partner with me in this marvelous undertaking, this ministry designed to make this a better world in which to live. I thank you.